Hello everyone, welcome to this platform, GB Jumbo Online Mathematics. We have already concluded motion. In physics we discuss motion, but right now I want to discuss surd. This will now lead us to mathematics. In mathematics, numbers are either rational or irrational, but surd are irrational number. A real number that cannot be expressed as a quotient of two integers is known as an irrational number. We can also call them surd, meaning any number that cannot be expressed in the form of a fraction or decimal fraction. Meaning when number cannot be expressed in the form of fraction or decimal, when we are talking about decimal, either terminating or recurring. As far as such numbers or such expression cannot be expressed in the form of fraction or decimals, therefore such expressions are called irrational numbers. And we can also call them surd. We can also call them surd. Now, you can see what we have on the board. We say surd is an expression that includes a root of a number, such as square root, cube root, etc. Now, when we see from what we have here, this one is simply the square root of a number, this one is the third root of a number, and this one is the fifth root of a number. But for these, we have the square root of 5, this one is the third root of 7, and this one is the fifth root of 3. Therefore, expression like this, they are simply regarded as irrational numbers. And this number cannot be expressed as fraction. This number cannot be expressed as fraction. It cannot be expressed in this manner. We cannot express it as 1 over 7. You know that 1 over 7 is a fraction. We cannot express a rational number in this form. Or we can also express them as decimal. For example, like for this case, 1 over 7. For example, like this one, 1 over 7. Do you know that I can express this very one as a decimal? I can express this very one as a decimal. Therefore, this very form, they are called rational number. This very form are called rational number. Meaning we can express a number or we can put an expression in form of fraction or decimal, therefore we call them rational numbers. But if they cannot be represented, we call them irrational number or surd. We call them irrational number or surd. Look at some few examples here. The square root of 5, the third root of 7, the fifth root of 3. We can also have the square root of 2. We can also have the square root of 3. We can also have the square root of 6. All these, they cannot be expressed as decimal. They cannot be expressed as fraction. Okay, now let me now represent this 1 over 7 as a fraction. I want to express this 1 over 7 as a fraction. 1 over 7. Let me express that as fraction. Remember I told you that a real number that cannot be expressed as a quotient, as a fraction of two integers, they are simply called irrational number or surd. Now let me now represent 1 over 7 as a fraction. Okay, this one is a fraction. Okay, do you know that I can also express this very one as a decimal? I can also express it as a decimal. Now what will I do? Let me use long division method to represent this. Let me use long division method to represent this. Do you know that 7 is the denominator, while 1 is the numerator? Therefore, the denominator will come outside, while the numerator will go inside. Therefore, now what can we do here? 7 people share 1. Let us see. If 7 persons share 1, is it possible? No, it is not possible. Therefore, we take it as 0, we call it 0. Meaning it is impossible for 7 persons to share 1. Now, since they cannot share it, what will I do for 7 persons to share 1? Therefore, the only way to do that is to put 0 here, so that I will put my point here. Okay? Now, for this now, this number 7 cannot share it. That is, if 7 persons share 10, we are having 1. Forget about the remainder. Okay? We are after the share, meaning what they have. Okay, they will share the 1, and it will be left with 3. But we are not after the 3, we have after the whole number, what they have. Okay? 7 person share 10, it is 1. 1 times 7, we have 7. We have 7. Okay, let us not subtract. At this position, you always have minus at this position. Subtraction here, invisible minus. That is to say, if now we subtract here, we are going to have 3. Here will be 3. Okay, now can 7 person share 3? In this case, can 7 person share 3? No, 7 person cannot share 3. Now, the only way to do that is still uh, had 0, right? Put 0 there so that 7 can share. 7 share 30 now. We have 4. 4 times 7 is 28. Okay, we have 28. Now let us not subtract again. Remember I told you at this position we have invisible minus. Okay, if I minus here now, we are having, let us see what we have here. Here, 30 minus 28 will be having 2. Okay, now can 7 still share 2? No, has 0 to it. If 7 share 2 now, that's 20 now. Now we have 20 here now. 7 person share 20, we have 2 here. We have 2 here. 2 times 7, we have 14. Now at this position, I told you we have invisible minus. Minus 6, we have 20 minus 14. We have 6. We have here as 6. Okay, let us see now. Can 7 person share 6? Let us see. Can 7 person share 6? It is impossible. It means that if 7 person share 6, it will be impossible. Now, to make it possible, I will have to add 0 to it. Now, 7 person share 60 now. We have, okay, we have 8. We have 8 here. Here is going to be 8. 8 times 7, we have 56. 56, okay, there are minus again. If I minus here now, I'll be having, okay, that's 60 minus 56. I'm going to have, okay, we are going to have 4. Here will be 4. Okay, now can 7 person share 4? Is it possible for 7 person to share 4? It is not possible. Now to make it possible, I will also have 0. Okay, let now 7 person now share 40. It means that if 7 share 40, what are we going to have? We are going to be having 5. 5 times 7 is 35. 35. Now minus it now. Well, minus it, we are having 5. Okay, meaning 5 cannot, that 7 cannot still share 5. Meaning have 0 to it. So that 7 can share. If 7 shares 50 now, what do we have? Now we have here as 50. 7 share 50 now, what do we have? It means that we are going to have 7 because 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 7 is 49. 7 times 7 is what? 49. Now when you minus it, what do we have? We have 1. Okay, at this position, I can stop here. Meaning the decimal will continue. It will not end. This type of decimal is what we call terminating decimal. Okay? But now there are some fractions that can also be represented as a recurring decimal. But for this one is a terminating decimal. Now what we represent, look at it. We have already represented this very expression as a fraction. If we say when number can be represented as a fraction, we call them rational numbers. Or we can represent them as a decimal, whether terminating or recurring, we call them what? Rational number. But if the number cannot be expressed as a form of a fraction like this or decimal number like this, therefore we now call it surd or irrational number. Okay, this is all about this very aspect. Okay, now I hope we understand this aspect very well, rational and irrational. Irrational number are also called surds. Please take note. Irrational number are also called surds. Okay, but for the irrational number, we are not going to discuss on that. Okay, for the rational number, we have no business with that. Meaning, we are going to be dealing with irrational number, like so, as the teaching progresses. Okay, now at this point, I can stop. Please don't forget to like my page, David Jungle Online Mathematics. And also go to my YouTube channel, Mathematics Science Mega Tutorial. All the best. God bless you.